Man, I'll tell you what. I give up on like starting conversations with people. So, I wanted to tell you all a little bit about persecution. Like, this is a type of persecution. It's not a big one, but it's one that hurts. I mean, it bothers you. So, I went to the ER, right? And I've got a dislocated knee. And we talked about an antibiotic for the bed sores. And that's all that was talked about, right? Well, then, I mean, that's literally all we talked about. I told him I needed a way to get this thing immobilized where I could depend on it because this cane was killing me and I didn't have the upper body strength to hold my big behind up like that for long periods. I'm just not that strong anymore. The gastric bypass really whooped me on the muscle. But anyway, back to the story. I'm a talker. I mean, I talk to everybody. You know, I don't have a job, so I'm not on a clock. I haven't been on a clock in a long time. I mean, let's just be honest, I'm institutionalized. So, I have all the time in the world. Plus, I'm waiting on Jesus, so it's kind of just sitting there, waiting area. So, here I am talking to the doctor, and we talk, and I tell him what I need. The guy comes in, he fits me for the brace, and we're like joking around by the time I left. Because I'm always type to try to make people laugh. I've always done that. And so they called in my prescription. Well, I get there to pick up my prescription, and there's another prescription there that I didn't know was coming. And so, because they were giving me an extra copay and I didn't have the money to pay it. I only had the money to get one prescription. And so I asked what it was, and they said Narcan. And I said, Narcan? For what? And Narcan's a drug you administer when someone overdoses on opiates. And so I'm like, for what? And he said, well, usually they give you that if they're going to send you over a strong opioid. And I said, he's not. We didn't even discuss it. I said, we didn't discuss pain medicine. We didn't discuss pain management. We didn't discuss nothing about any kind of pain. No, they didn't even ask me about my pain level today. Like, that was not discussed. I told them I hit the ground. I'm trying to get my leg immobilized. It needs replacing. I mean, we went through the whole conversation. The problems I've had with Mercy and their messaging system and trying to get a hold of somebody. He heard about my doctor's problems because I'm telling him, because I'm needing things addressed. I'm frustrated, So maybe I was long-winded because I get there and I asked, why would he send that over any other reason? He said, well, there are only a couple of reasons. He said either he thinks you're high now or he is worried that you're going to be high. And I said, hold on now. He thinks I'm high now. I said, if he thinks I'm high now, if I'm at the emergency room, why don't he drug test me? Because they can drug test you right there. It's not that hard. I mean, when you go in and they put in your IV and all, which wasn't done today. There's no IV put it in, but you got a brace. So it was a business transaction. It wasn't a normal visit. I mean, I went in and told them what I needed. The triage never asked me how bad I hurt. They didn't take my blood pressure. They didn't take my temperature. They didn't ask me about COVID. None of that. It was the weirdest visit I've ever been on. So then I go to the Walmart, and he tells me the only reason he'd ordered that is for those reasons. And I said, I mean, really, I'm mind blown at this point. I'm like, no, seriously, what in the hell? And so he goes, well, I'm going to tell you something. He said, on our computers, and it's probably like this on theirs, every prescription you've ever got filled that has been put in a digital system at any point. So I'm talking prescriptions you got filled long time ago that were sent off to somewhere, and somebody data mined that information at some point, entered it into a computer, because that's what they were for, to put all the information in computers. So that's what they did for a long time in the 90s. When I was going to school, that was like a big thing. Let's get rid of paper and let's make things paperless and put everything digital. I mean, it was getting ready for AI. But he said that they could see my whole history. Well, everybody that knows me knows that I have a history with opioids. I mean, I got addicted through doctors, through natural progression of injury, from being in a wheelchair for 2 years before getting back surgery, then having back surgery, taking 6 months to recover. I mean, going to one of those half nursing home recovery houses to even get back home because I couldn't even walk for so long. I mean, I lost control of everything below my waist, even bowel, bladder, everything. It was dangerous. So I was on it for years, and then they took me off, and I started getting sick, and I'm already in insurance at the executive level by then. Well, what am I going to do? Am I going to tell them I'm getting sick from drugs? And I'm 21 years old, 22 years old at that time. I mean, y'all know what I did. It made me better at everything for the longest time. But then about a good 10 years into it, it was whooping my butt, and I was behind a Walmart homeless. And that's all I had was opiates. And they were controlling every amount of my life because I had to work full time and was fixing to have to start stealing to stay on them. And I was praying to get off of them. And one of my friends, she's a friend on Facebook, if y'all ever see her, she probably won't ever talk to you, she's shy. But her name's Tammy Russ. I was talking to her on the phone. I don't know why I was talking to her, because I talk to her very rarely, but she's been my friend since like the 6th grade. And so I was talking to her, and I was emotional, probably because I was drinking back then. I'd already started drinking full time again by that point. And we're talking when I was 33, 32 years old to 34, somewhere in there. So I'm a good 14 years ago. And so she said, "Well, you come here and you get off that stuff." And I went there, and that was rough. Man, I got story after story as far as the testimony of getting off that stuff. There was a lot more to it. When I started praying to get off of it, I did not realize it was going to happen like it happened. Kind of like how I got into Arkansas. Kind of like how every situation in my life is. So I guess the pharmacist just made a decision and said, well, we'll just judge him and roll with it to be safe. I love people.